Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
New coronavirus numbers over the weekend point to a possible second wave. I'm Alex Boucher in Washington. I'll have details coming up.
Outside with Live Cam. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. We're starting out in the lower 70s here in the city. Mike will take a look at some South Texas temperatures coming up. And a good morning to you. It is Monday, June 15th, and the familiar face that is Stephanie Cerna has joined us this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. I'm awake. How are you?
I'm working on being awake, not going to lie, but it's good to have everybody with us this morning. Steph, great having you in this week.
Thanks. Great to be here.
Well, Mike Osterhage, not going to lie, I was out fishing this weekend up near Comfort, Texas, and it was 55 glorious degrees early Saturday morning, but yesterday felt quite a bit more like normal around here.
Yeah, it was still nice yesterday. This morning, that's a different story, though, because late last week, of course, we had temperatures in the hill country that were in the 50s. We had 60s this weekend. Yesterday got down into the mid-60s, well below normal, up into the 90s. It was just glorious over the weekend. Now you step outside and it's like something changed a little bit. And temperatures, that is normal, 73 degrees. 72 in New Braunfels, 69 Bulverde, 64 in Comfort. So again, these numbers are up about anywhere from 5-10 degrees compared to what they were over the weekend and late last week. And here we go. These numbers, the dew point temperatures. Remember, just even yesterday, late last week, Saturday, they were down in the 40s and 50s. It was very crisp, dry air. But as expected, the humidity has returned. It's not like it's wet towel slapping you in the face, but you just kind of notice the humidity out there. Everything is on the light side, mold, grass, and pigweed. And throughout the rest of today, 85 at noon, 90 for a high temperature today. We will see a couple of stray showers and thunderstorms trying to develop. Even later on this morning, there's a chance for a few of them to kind of move into the area, and we'll have one or two of them around today. And then the rest of the week, we do have some more rain chances down the road. This is not necessarily a bad thing, getting some rain chances. We'll talk about that and see how warm things are going to be getting. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Time saver traffic on this Monday morning. Here's Officer Marcus Trujillo. Good morning, sir. Did you have a good weekend?
Had a good weekend. Good morning to you, Mike, and good morning everyone at home as we take a look at the roadways. Right now, so far, traffic looks pretty good out there. No issues as far as accidents. Take a look at all the green. That means we're doing very, very well out there on the roadways. This 1604 at Braun, that TransGuide shot, you see no one out there. There are a few cars out there here and there. 35 at San Marcos North and southbound lanes looking pretty good with no problems there. I-10 Rafael Road, we do have some construction out there, so just remember, slow down for those construction barrels. Mark?
Thank you, Marcus. Nationwide, new surges in coronavirus numbers. At least 22 states in Puerto Rico showing a rise in infections.
That's right. 8 states have seen a rise in hospitalizations, including the Lone Star State. At the same time, others are continuing their plans to reopen. ABC's Alex Boucher has more from Washington.
This morning, more reopenings. New Jersey, the latest state to enter a new phase, allowing non-essential retail and outdoor dining. But across the country, coronavirus cases are on the rise. At least 22 states and Puerto Rico have an increase in new reported cases. That includes Arizona. There have been 1,200 new cases since Saturday. Now, some Phoenix bars and restaurants are closing down for a second time. In Utah, COVID-19 is disproportionately affecting the Latino community. They're 14% of the population, but make up 42% of the cases. Florida set another record, reporting 2,000 cases in 24 hours for the second day in a row. The governor there saying an outbreak among farm workers and increased testing in nursing homes is partially behind the surge in numbers.
We're doing 3 times as many tests a day now than we did at the end of March.
The mayor of Key West citing some of the crowded beaches.
I have a concern there. We would certainly like to welcome in all of our tourism, but we would like it to be respectful and responsible.
8 states have seen an increase in hospitalizations.
We don't yet know what our peak is.
Texas and Arizona set new hospitalization records. Long testing lines like this backed up over the weekend. New York State is seeing its lowest number of hospitalizations and deaths since the pandemic began. But images like this over the weekend have drawn criticism from the governor.
A bar or restaurant that is violating these rules can lose their liquor license. We are not kidding around with this. You're talking about jeopardizing people's lives.
Also, 2 Big Ten schools say they'll have students on campus this fall. Yesterday, both Penn State and the University of Wisconsin announced plans to reopen with students. Alex Prochet, ABC News, Washington.
Here at Hope, since this time last week, there have been 1,082 new cases of COVID-19 reported in Bexar County. 151 new cases have been reported in the past 24 hours. Metro Health says hospital capacity remains stable, though patient numbers are rising there as well. Local hospitals gained nearly 20 more patients, bringing the total to 176. Of those, 70 are now in ICU, 29 are on ventilators.
Firefighters say a man's home is a total loss after it went up in flames on the city's northeast side. The fire started around 6:30 last night in the 100 block of Emporia Boulevard. Firefighters say the man was grilling outside and threw his hot coals into a trash can, which they believe caused the fire. The man also owned both homes to the left and right of the house that burned down. One of those homes also had some damage, but nothing major. No injuries were reported.
This morning, we are hearing from a family following a 3-vehicle crash that killed a local woman over the weekend. A San Antonio man is now facing several charges. San Antonio police arrested 39-year-old Leonel Martinez and a second person who hasn't been identified. SAPD says both were in a Hummer that caused the deadly crash. They say they tried to run from the scene but were soon caught thereafter. The crash happened at Martin Luther King Jr. Drive and Walters on Saturday. 27-year-old Destiny Rodriguez was pronounced dead at the scene. Her family says they never imagined her life would end so suddenly.
You hear about it all the time and never think it's going to happen to anybody you know.
Meanwhile, Martinez now faces several charges, including DWI, intoxication manslaughter, and failure to stop and render aid. It's 4:36, 73 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA, we're going to have a first look at a brand new biography about First Lady Melania Trump, where she details her influence at the White House.
And next, a dramatic scene in California as authorities rescue a suicidal man and his daughters after he drives off a cliff.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, it is 73 degrees, but it is pretty humid compared to yesterday morning. We're going to check in with Mike in just a bit to see what we can expect for the rest of your week. We'll be right back. And welcome back. It is 4:40. In your morning headlines, a Moscow court has ruled that former U.S. Marine Paul Whelan has been convicted of espionage and sentenced to 16 years in prison. Whelan called the trial a sham and called on President Donald Trump to, quote, end this. Whelan was detained at a Moscow hotel in December of 2018 by Russian authorities who alleged he was involved in an intelligence operation. Whelan denies the spying charges and says he has denied proper medical treatment while in detention. His family maintains he traveled to Moscow to attend a wedding and was arrested on false charges.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo plans to meet with Chinese officials this week. That's according to 3 sources at CNN. One familiar with the event says it will take place at Hawaii's Hickam Air Force Base. Talks come as tensions rise between the nations over coronavirus and civil rights in Hong Kong. China is also trying to exploit U.S. protests with what Pompeo calls laughable propaganda.
Authorities in California rescued a man and his 2 daughters after their vehicle flew off Sunset Cliffs. A police spokesperson in San Diego says a woman called to say her husband was suicidal. San Diego police arrived at the scene and used a 100-foot-long dog tether to get to the truck. The officer got the man and his twin 2-year-olds out of the vehicle and onto the shore. The girls were taken to a hospital. No word on their conditions. The man is in custody, accused of attempted murder.
If last month felt like it was almost too hot to handle, you're not alone. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says that May 2020 tied with 2016 for the hottest May on record. According to scientists, they registered unusually high temperatures around the world last month. The average global temperature was in May 1.71 degrees above the 20th century average. Still, scientists say the heat was not just limited to last month. The period from January through May of this year and the 3-month period starting March both set world records. But 441, 73 degrees.
And still ahead, a historic day for NASCAR. We have reaction as drivers race for the first time since the Confederate flag was banned.
And next, a look at that new biography featuring our First Lady, Melania Trump, and the impact she has made at the White House.
Welcome back. It is 4:44. A bombshell new biography about Melania Trump details the First Lady's influence at the White House. ABC's Kara Phillips has details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, one-on-one with the writer of the revealing new book, The Art of Her Deal, the untold story of Melania Trump.
A photographer who knew Melania said to me, she's like a ghost. Everyone knows her, but no one does.
Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter Mary Jordan interviewing Melania's friends, teachers, and people inside the White House.
She only came to the United States for the very first time when she was 26 years old. And 20 years later, she's heading to the White House. So I just wanted to find more information. Who is this person? She is, after all, one of the most recognized people in the world.
Melania Trump hasn't yet responded to ABC News' request for comment about the book. We'll have more of our interview and more revelations from the book coming up at 7 a.m. with your GMA First Look. I'm Kara Phillips, ABC News, Washington.
It was a historic milestone for sports in America this weekend. NASCAR drivers are on the track for the first time since the Confederate flag was banned at all racing events.
NASCAR also allowed a small number of fans back in the stands for the first time since the coronavirus outbreak. ABC's Victor Oquendo in Florida.
Green flag. NASCAR going full throttle in the race for equality, welcoming back a select group of fans, but not the Confederate flag.
That company has done more in 1 week for racial equality than it had done in the past 70 years.
NASCAR's overcome COVID-19. Fans are back at the track for the first time today and battling social and racial injustice.
With a car bearing the Black Lives Matter hashtag, Bubba Wallace, the circuit's only full-time black driver, leading the charge for change.
This is about our brothers and our sisters that are suffering through a lot. And you look at the Confederate flag and how, yes, it may mean heritage to most, but to a group that is in a lot of pain right now, the African American community is in a lot of pain, that's a symbol of hate.
A veteran in attendance welcoming the new era.
I'm happy that NASCAR has finally realized that there are so many other people that probably want to come to the track, but they didn't feel comfortable, and hopefully now they will.
Top-tier drivers like Jimmy Johnson and Kyle Busch taking their own action, cutting ties with the helmet designer over tweets about the Confederate flag. But not all drivers are united, one threatening to quit after the flag ban. 1,000 members of the military invited to the Dixie Vodka 400. Everyone screened before entry, masks were required, fans spread out. NFL Pro Bowl running back Alvin Kamara there too.
I'm going to Homestead Miami Speedway, check out my first NASCAR race.
Rooting for Bubba Wallace. President Trump saying he won't be watching football if players kneel during the anthem. Responding to a tweet about the U.S. national soccer team not being required to stand for the anthem, saying, looks like the NFL is heading in that direction also, but not with me watching. NASCAR is now finalizing protocol to enforce this new policy, but the bottom line is the Confederate flag is banned from all races and events. The next race next weekend at Talladega, where up to 5,000 fans are expected inside. Victor Oquendo, ABC News, Homestead, Florida.
Well, your local forecast is minutes away, but first,
let's check traffic with Marcus Trujillo.
Well, we do have an accident out there, so let's get right to the accident. In the clearing stages, we're looking at a major accident up on the northwest side. These are the eastbound main lanes of 1604, headed from I-10 back over towards 281, right there at Lock Hill Summit. It looked as if they were trying to move everything off to the access road. So as we take a closer look, you can see there's a 1604 tradesman camera shooting back over towards 281 and trying to get a good shot there of that accident. So hopefully we'll get all that cleared up and out of the way in time for what little bit of morning rush we do have these days.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Thank you, Marcus. Mike, how was your weekend?
Oh, fantastic. My son graduated on Saturday, so they had
something else.
And my anniversary yesterday as well, so
Yeah.
kind of a big
Special
weekend to celebrate.
So, which did you celebrate, or both? Did you make time for both?
Kind of concentrated on the graduation, obviously.
Well, of course.
Yeah. So
yeah. Congratulations,
it was
Jack.
nice the way the school arranged everything to have an actual, and a lot of schools are doing to have an in-person graduation. So
it was nice to see. So happy on accounts.
Yes, thank you very much for that. So, and it was, I mean, you just couldn't have asked for nicer weather this weekend, no matter what you were outside doing. Things have definitely change this morning. However, we do have some rain chances. So that kind of, I think, supersedes the fact that, yeah, the humidity's back a little bit, but at least hopefully that's going to turn into some rain. This is an absolutely gorgeous picture. Sunset, the sunrises and sunsets the past few days have been absolutely spectacular, of course, and this one is with that as well. Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture. So we've got some clouds out there, excuse me, this morning. I did see some clear skies when I walked out the back door this morning, but I think we'll see the clouds kind of filling in as the morning rolls on. 73 here in town, 68 in Bulverde, and 72 up the road in New Braunfels. And these numbers, the dew points, the measure moisture in the atmosphere, and I always like to show these. And of course, over the weekend, last week, we had these numbers down in the 50s, 40s, so we're about 10, 15 degrees higher as far as the dew point temperatures are concerned. We may see a slight little break by tomorrow afternoon, but then definitely it's going to be coming back on in here. So this is sort of the exception, and this is more the rule when you get into this time of the year. That was a little bit of a nice break that we had earlier last week, late last week, and over the weekend. Got a couple of showers that are showing up, just one of them basically, maybe two, right around Cuero, kind of sliding up to the northeast. And computer models, we obviously have the big flow coming in here off the Gulf of Mexico, and computer models do have a few more of these showers kind of trying to slide on in here as the morning rolls on, and then a few more later on this afternoon. About a 40% chance for rain later on today. So again, not everybody's going to be seeing some, but at least there will be a little bit out there. And then once the sun goes down, those should be coming to an end. I think we'll still have enough of a kind of a flow coming in here that we may see a few more scattered about the area tomorrow. Then that will pretty much come to an end as the day rolls on. And once again, there's no big system sliding on in here. Basically, we've got some disturbances sort of coming in from the Gulf of Mexico, so that's our rain chance. Although there is another disturbance sliding in here by probably sometime Friday, maybe Saturday, to give us another shot at some rain. So yeah, it's unfortunate the humidity's back, but the good news is obviously we have some rain chances around here. So mostly cloudy, some scattered storms around at noon, 85 degrees, and then a high temperature today up to 90. Actually a couple of notches below normal because of some of the extra clouds around here and some of those showers. And again, about a 40% chance for some rain today. So a couple of those morning showers left over tomorrow, and then more sunshine, and the flag is left over from Flag Day, but every day is a good day to fly the flag. Saturday, first day of summer. It's 4:43 in the afternoon is the exact time of the summer solstice. And of course, Sunday is, Stephanie?
Father's Day.
Thank you.
Yes, I was looking at that. I was looking at the graphic.
Why do you need a graphic to tell you it's Father's Day? Shouldn't this just come right off the top of your head?
No, I've been preparing for weeks, actually.
Good.
Well, my little girl and I have. So we have a special surprise in store. Yeah.
Oh, cool. All right.
Luis isn't watching right now. So.
No, he's asleep.
Don't doubt it. Don't doubt it. Mike, thank you very much. 452, 73 degrees.
And up next, a first look at the special event honoring the late basketball legend Kobe Bryant, how his efforts off the court are being recognized.
Here are your lottery numbers this morning. Pick 3, 237, Fireball 4, daily 4 numbers 8, 9, 4, 5, Fireball 9.
Cash 5, 1, 9, 10, 23, 32, and Lotto Texas 6, 12, 18, 39, 48, 49. And your Powerball numbers 2, 12, 32, 50, 65, Powerball 5, Power Play 3. Good luck.
A new special event honoring the late Kobe Bryant expected to air sometime next month.
And for the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Christopher Watson.
Taylor Swift has added her voice to those calling for statues that she says, quote, celebrate racist historical figures to be taken down. One such monument the Tennessee resident singles out in her social media post is a Nashville area statue of Confederate General Nathan Bedford Forrest, the first Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. Swift calls on state officials to remove that statue and others, saying in part, you can't change history, but you can change this. The Television Academy will honor the late basketball legend Kobe Bryant with a Los Angeles Area Emmy Governor's Award during the Emmys next month, recognizing him for his off-court philanthropy. Comics writer and editor Denny O'Neil is widely credited with helping rescue Batman from 1960s camp, turning the character into the brooding Dark Knight we know today. O'Neil just died from natural causes. He was 81. And Friends star Courtney Cox is 56 today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Christopher Watson, ABC News.
We are just getting started here on GMSA. About 3 minutes till 5, 72 degrees now.
And still ahead in our next half hour, a major meat recall as the U.S. Department of Agriculture says about 40,000 pounds of ground beef might be infected with E. coli. We're going to have those details.
Plus, as an additional effort for social distancing, Walmart is testing out a new store concept that is entirely self-checkout. We have more in your Morning Tech Bites.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
As local protests continue, the city of San Antonio is hosting 3 listening sessions to gather feedback on policing in our community.
Plus, the latest on a shooting that happened just south of downtown last night.
And we've dropped 1 degree in the last half hour outside with live cam looking back towards downtown, Tower of the Americas, Alamo Dome, and our entire skyline on your early Monday morning. Hope you had a great weekend. It is Monday. It is June 15th.
Thanks for joining us this morning. Yes, I can feel the humidity this morning because yesterday, you walked out, I was like, hey, it's kind of nice.
Yeah, it was kind of cool, especially compared to like Saturday morning around here, Mike Osterhage.
Yeah, and even late last week, and after that front moved on through here and got rid of all that heavy humidity we had at this time last week, and it is back. But the nice thing is, though, man, we'd love to keep the dry air around here, but at least this time around, though, with some of the humidity, we do have some rain chances because it definitely used some. It's been a while since we've had any rain around the area. 72 in town right now, and up around Kerrville, 64 degrees. So it is definitely, a little bit cooler in the hill country, but warmer than where it has been by a good 10 degrees. And look at that top number, the dew point. Yeah, that's up about 10 degrees from yesterday and about 15 degrees from Saturday late last week. So definitely more moisture out there. And look at some of these numbers where it's 72 as well in Helotes, 74 Canyon Lake, and 68 in Los Maples. Had the 50s earlier a couple of days ago, and here's these numbers. Yep, dew points have gone up into the 60s. It's not ridiculously humid out there, but just when you get above 60, comfort is still okay right now. Same thing with Kerrville, but you get above 60 and you start to feel it. Now, as far as rain, here's the encouraging thing. We do have, obviously not much right now, a couple little specks of rain right there around Cuero, and everything sliding up to the northeast, and computer models do have a few more of these showers trying to develop later on this morning. Mold, grass, pigweed, everything is on the low side. I suspect mold would be going up in the next couple of days, just given the extra humidity around here. So mostly cloudy, more humid, a couple of showers, and we'll have a few scattered storms around the area today. About a 40% chance for some rain, 90 for high temperature, which is actually a couple of degrees below normal. A few showers left over in the morning are possible, and then more sunshine in the afternoon, and a slight drop in the humidity tomorrow afternoon. So a little bit of a kind of a one-day prize. However, humidity is going to return. We'll have some storms, be up in about the mid-90s, and then another chance for some rain late in the weekend to start off the weekend. Details in just a couple of minutes. Time saver traffic right now. Here's Officer Marcus Trujillo.
Well, Mike, we still have that one accident, so we're going to move up to 1604, that outer loop. Eastbound main lanes headed from I-10 back over towards 281, just past Tradesman right there at Lock Hill Summit. So that's where officers are still trying to clear this accident. As you see, we still have a number of flares out there and a number of emergency vehicles. Just remember, reduce that speed, increase that follow distance, both hands on the wheel, put away those distractions this morning. Mark and Stephanie.
Thank you, Marcus. New this morning, a man is dead after a shooting in a neighborhood near the intersection of Blanco and Hildebrand. Max Massey joins us live from the scene at the intersection of Michigan and Ridgewood. Max, what is the scene looking like right now?
Well, just beyond this caution tape, which is blocking off portions of Michigan Avenue, we can see multiple evidence markers. It looks like there are shell casings right in the middle of the road. Again, this is Michigan Avenue, and then right next to it is actually that back alley. And that is where investigators found the man who was shot and killed. Right now, as you can see, investigators still on the scene trying to piece together what exactly happened here. I'm told a man and a woman were having relations in a vehicle in the back alley when a man with a gun walked up, asked the man's name, then fired one shot, killing that victim. The woman, who was also in the vehicle, she was able to get out and run away. The suspect started firing at her. I'm told she actually faked being shot. The suspect took off. And as we speak, police are now searching for the suspect. All they tell me that they have to go off of is that suspect, the gunman who shot and killed the man in the vehicle, he's driving a white vehicle. Mark?
As protests across the country continue to rally against racial injustice, this was the scene in Travis Park last night. The group's smaller than we've seen in recent days. Our crew spoke with protesters who said their only goal is to peacefully promote the Black Lives Matter movement.
New protests after the police killing of Rayshard Brooks in Atlanta. Brooks was shot in the back as he fled the scene after officers tried to arrest him for alleged drunk driving.
Since then, the Atlanta police chief has resigned, and the district attorney says they'll decide within the next few days whether to bring charges. ABC's Andrea Fujii has more.
Overnight, demonstrations from coast to coast after another deadly police shooting of a black man. Protesters also gathering at the Wendy's restaurant in Atlanta, where a police officer shot Rayshard Brooks Friday night. The incident all captured on police body and dash cam video, which began after the officers responded to a call that Brooks was allegedly asleep in his car, blocking the drive-through. Police say he was then given multiple sobriety tests, which they say he failed.
Can you take a preliminary breath test for me? Just yes or no.
I don't want to refuse anything.
Police say he resisted arrest, which turned into a struggle, leading to him grabbing an officer's taser. Brooks flees and appears to point the stun gun at the officers while he runs away. Investigators say Officer Garrett Rolfe then fired 3 shots at Brooks, who died at the hospital after surgery. This morning, an autopsy reveals Brooks was shot twice in the back and lists the manner of death as homicide. Protesters hitting the streets over the weekend, setting fire to the Wendy's as the Atlanta police chief stepped down. The police department fired Officer Rolfe and suspended the other officer. This morning, the police union says Officer Rolfe was terminated without due process. According to the district attorney, a decision on whether to file charges is expected by midweek, and he says murder charges are being considered.
Following the facts, we're going to be examining and re-examining the evidence.
I didn't know that I was going to wake up to my husband never coming home.
Brooks' wife says he was not dangerous and calls the shooting a murder. Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
Here at home, the city of San Antonio is creating an open forum and dialogue about policing activities. This virtual meeting will be live streamed and you are invited to participate. There are actually 3 sessions available. The first one is tonight from 5:30 to 7:30. Session 2 Thursday from 3 to 5:30, and session 3 is Saturday from 11:30 to 1:30. Residents can provide comments through a form on the city's website or by submitting a voicemail to 210-207-6991.
San Antonio police say a shooting suspect is in custody this morning after trying to get away. Police say it all happened when an argument got heated last night and led to that shooting south of downtown. The incident happened around 8 p.m. in the 100 block of Arlington Court. Officers say 2 men were arguing when one of them pulled a gun and shot the other in the leg. That victim was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay.
Monday morning time check right now. It is 5:07, 72 degrees.
Still ahead, the new apps the hotel industry is preparing to launch. What guests can expect the next time they book a room.
And next, the latest on a recall involving about 40,000 pounds of ground beef. The 7 products you should be looking for in your fridge.
And taking a look outside with live cam, it is a little humid out there, but Mike says there might be some good news that might mean rain chances at some point. We're going to check in with him in just a bit. And welcome back. It's 5:11 in your morning consumer headlines. On Thursday, Disneyland in Hong Kong will become the world's second Disney park to reopen. It's one of the smallest Disney theme parks and it closed back in January. Guests will be required to book reservations online up to 7 days in advance in order to maintain crowd control. Upon arrival, they will have to get their temperature checked and wear face masks. Magic Access members will get priority for booking reservations.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture says about 40,000 pounds of ground beef is being recalled. The 7 affected products are from Lakeside Refrigerated Services in the state of New Jersey. Now, the company produced them June 1st and distributed them nationwide. You might want to check your packaging. Those products have the establishment number of 46841. According to the Food Safety and Inspection Service, or FSIS, the meat might contain some E. coli. A detailed list of recalled products is on the FSIS website. Check it out. 512, 72 degrees.
Still ahead, a look at how Walmart is testing a store that is entirely self-checkout.
And up next, a local graduating senior from a small town tells us he has big plans for the future. Of the latest great graduate story just ahead.
With SimpliSafe's Video Doorbell Pro, you'll know if the person at your door is friend or foe, or just a late-night cheese pizza with extra meatballs. With my smart lock, I can let him in. Entrez-vous. And I can lock up from right here. Same time tomorrow. So take it from an expert. Get SimpliSafe and protect home like a pro.
Visit simplysafe.com for a limited time offer.
Come fly with me. Let's fly away.
Dive in, Polo Deep Blue, the new men's fragrance, Ralph Lauren. Macy's, the fragrance destination.
When the Murrays started using Gain Ultra Flings, they fell in love with its irresistible scent. Looks like their dog Michelangelo did too. New Gain Ultra Flings with 2 times Oxy Boost and Febreze.
In today's Tech Bites, a big test at Walmart. A store in Arkansas will feature only self-checkout lines. A Walmart host will be there to help out just in case. And if things go smoothly, the system will be implemented in other stores. The hotel industry is preparing to launch new apps aimed at making your stay as touchless as possible. The goal is to allow guests to use their cell phones to control the television, temperature, and other hotel room features. They say electronic platforms will quickly become the new normal. Finally, Samsung has teamed up with South Korean superstars BTS on a smartphone. The K-pop group's Galaxy S20 Plus has a purple exterior with a BTS logo on the back. Anyone ordering the phone will get a special deal on matching BTS-inspired earbuds. The Army, those fans, they will be happy. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
I'll get that for you, Steph.
Thank you. I'm waiting for it.
Hard work and determination has paid off for one recent graduating senior. Miles Korzekwa recently graduated as valedictorian from Poth High School.
And he tells our Erica Hernandez that despite coming from a small town, he's ready to accomplish some big goals.
Just outside Poth sits the small community of Kosciuszko. It's where Miles Korzekwa and his family live. Soon a big change for him as he packs his bags and moves to Austin to attend the University of Texas's McCombs School of Business.
I'm really looking forward to just being in that that busy environment with all these things happening just in the city. It's not like that over here.
Since his freshman year of high school, Miles knew he wanted to go to business school, and by his sophomore year, he started researching what it needed to do to better his chances. He joined a volunteer program at the Museum, and for 9 weeks made the over 40-mile drive weekly.
I was part of a program that we volunteered for at least 100 hours on whatever we wanted to do, really, either on the floor or upstairs in administration. I was on the floor for it, and it was a really fun experience, and it really developed my professional skills a lot.
And his hard work paid off, finishing in the top of his senior class with a 106.39 GPA. Despite a spring semester that was full of many unknowns, Miles is ready to take everything he has learned and start a new chapter in his life.
And even though we've had all this stuff going on, there's still better things ahead.
Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Headed to where again? UT? In Austin?
Yes, in Austin.
Okay, all right. You like that school?
Just checking. Yeah, just a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
518, let's check Marcus, see how things are looking over there in the traffic department.
Well, we still have this accident in place, so we're going to move up to that northeast side. This is going to be east of IH-10, so if you're on 1604 or you normally use 1604 to travel, make your way between I-10 and 281. This could slow you down just a little bit, but really not too bad. Officers are clearing that accident eastbound 1604 right there at Lock Hill, Selma. Last check, they were looks like they're just waiting maybe on one more tow truck. You can see the flare line there as folks have to slow down just a little bit. Other areas not too bad. There's 35 at FM 1103, and looking at I-10 in Callahan, you can see travel there is eastbound and westbound along I-10. So far, no issues this morning. Now we do have a little bit of construction up there, 1604 and 35 area, but it does look as if they've moved everything off into the work zone and out of the actual travel lanes. So hopefully those lanes are all open once again.
Thank you very much, Marcus. A toast to Flag Day.
Yes, indeed. A beautiful picture. And this brings up a couple of different things. First of all, obviously, folks were outside enjoying the low humidity this weekend. And it's changed us a little bit. And also, have y'all been seeing more mosquitoes?
Oh, my goodness, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, we've been using that
for a
spray
while
like
now.
crazy.
I assume it's been because of the fact we had so much rain back in May, and maybe that helped the bumper crop of them. But by spraying and everything else.
I haven't seen them, but I did get bit a couple times over the weekend.
But yeah,
You have stealth mosquitoes.
Yes, I do have stealth mosquitoes.
So make sure if there's any standing water around, make sure you dump it out. Yeah. Because that's where they breed. But yeah, it's a beautiful picture. I love the little red, white, and blue around the stems of the glasses there. Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture. Different situation this morning than what we had the past few days and last week. We got a little more of you can still see the lights downtown, but kind of a hazy look there. A bit more humidity around 72 degrees, 67 Bulverde, low 60s in the hill country. These numbers are up a good 5-10 degrees compared to the past 5 or 6 days or so. And these numbers are definitely up. The dew point temperatures, you get above 60 and you start to notice the humidity a little bit more. Still not bad, burning out towards the hill country. And this is not ridiculous humidity by any stretch, but you walk outside and it's like, yeah, there's a little more humidity out there. We will see a slight break, it looks like, maybe tomorrow afternoon and going into Wednesday. Still, we'll have a lot of morning humidity around here, and it should be dropping somewhat by the afternoon hours, and then it will definitely start to go up. So it looks like once we get into the next couple of days, we get more of that 24-hour cycle where there's a lot more humidity in the morning and slightly lower in the afternoon. Got a couple of showers that are showing up here right around Cuero, and actually that has started to build a little bit more just in the past about half an hour or so. Don't be surprised if there might be a little lightning strike with that as well. And computer model does have a few of these showers continuing on throughout the rest of the morning, and then a few more developing as the afternoon rolls on, and then going into the evening hours as well. So just 1 or 2 this morning, and then as things do heat up, we've got about a good 40% chance for some of these showers, a couple of thunderstorms around here, and there may actually be another little wave of some showers kind of coming in tomorrow morning. Then we're going to start to clear out by the afternoon hours. And as far as the whole upper level wind situation, this is not a good rain situation. Obviously, we've got the high sitting on top of us, and the rain is only just because of some little disturbances trying to slide in here, kind of wrapping around that high. But this thing's pretty much going to be staying in place the next couple of days. So that's going to keep us rain free throughout the middle of the week. But then by Friday and the weekend, it does tend to slide just enough away and more little disturbances sliding on in. Again, not great rain chances, but at least some chance of rain today, and then again probably Friday, Saturday. So today, 85 degrees, couple of scattered showers or a storm possible primarily down along the coastal plain at noon, 85 degrees, and a high temperature today up to 90, actually 2 notches below normal. A couple of scattered showers, couple of scattered thunderstorms out there later on today, and a few of them hanging around tomorrow morning, and then we'll start to clear on out. 92 for a high temperature tomorrow. Then we start to warm up, mid-90s going into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, a chance for some rain. Probably a little bit better, not great. Again, these aren't great rain chances on Saturday. And then Sunday looks pretty nice for
Father's Day.
Thank you. And summer officially begins Saturday afternoon.
I saw one of those giant fireworks stands offloading new product as we are now already at mid-June.
Yep. But between now and the 4th, need to get a little bit of rain because it is definitely drying.
That would be nice.
We're about already close to 2 inches behind just for the month of June, even though we're way ahead of normal in May.
Okay. At least there's a chance.
There's a chance. Make some calls for us, Mike.
Yes, please.
Or on an email. I know you're a good letter writer. Write a very strongly worded letter. Right now, 523, 72 degrees.
And up next in your morning spotlight, as some movie theaters get ready to reopen, a highly anticipated James Bond film is debuting a little earlier than expected.
Why would I betray you?
We all have our secrets.
No Time to Die, said to be Daniel Craig's final turn as James Bond, was originally slated to debut in April. Then the coronavirus hit, and its U.S. release was bumped back to November 25th. Now, MGM is moving it up 5 days to November 20th, where 007 will go head-to-head with Disney Pixar's animated film Soul, which was originally scheduled to premiere this month.
He said that wherever I went, he would find me. Walk right up to me, and I wouldn't be able to see him.
Elizabeth Moss battled a foe she couldn't see in The Invisible Man. Now she's set to take on an actual ghost. Moss is signed to star in Run, Rabbit, Run as a fertility doctor forced to confront a ghost from her past when her young daughter begins acting very strangely. Moss will also serve as a producer on the film. Rural folk piano player George Winston has released what he's calling a video tribute to George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, and Breonna Taylor. The music is Winston's interpretation of the Sam Cooke classic A Change Is Gonna Come, off Winston's most recent album, Restless Wind. Hoping that music can help heal during these very challenging times, he's also posted his documentary film Seasons in Concert on his YouTube channel, where it can be viewed for free. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
It is now 5:28. We're still at 72 degrees.
And still ahead in our next half hour, the call for police reform reignites after a fatal shooting of an unarmed man over the weekend. We're going to have the latest details.
And you might be aware of counterfeit products like purses or watches, but what about makeup? We'll tell you about some products that aren't just illegal, but why they can actually be dangerous. Good morning, rise and shine. It is Monday. It is June 15th.
Thanks for joining us this morning, and I hope you enjoyed this beautiful weekend. I hope you had a chance to go outdoors. I know I did. I think you did as well, right?
I was out, trying to fish and falling into a river a couple times up near Comfort, Texas this weekend.
This is the time to do it.
Yeah, it was refreshing. Not planned, but refreshing, my Mr. H. I got a new cooler, so my center of gravity was higher, and I went to make a cast, and whoop.
So that's your story, huh?
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
You believe in that one, Marcus?
Hey, at least I got my phone back.
Well,
that's important.
That's good. So,
that's important.
Yeah, in the Hill Country this weekend, had you fallen in the river, or if that's your story, it was probably kind of cool when you got out because the air was so dry and the water was evaporating so easily, but that's not necessarily the situation this morning because we do have some more humidity out there. 72 in town, 67 Bulverde, and mid-60s in parts of the Hill Country. These numbers are up. It was nice and it's still fairly nice out in the Hill Country. Comfort at 59 for a dew point, so it's right on the verge of where you kind of notice the humidity, and definitely notice it here in town when you step outside. It's not ridiculously high humidity, but just enough. And we do have a couple of showers. Notice how there's more out here in the Gulf of Mexico, and a few of these are trying to move on shore. And this little one right there, right by Cuero, continuing to kind of hold together and work its way up to the northeast. And we will see a few more trying to develop this morning, and then also later on this afternoon, about a 40% chance for a couple of showers, even a stray thunderstorm or two. All the allergens are on the low side this morning, and mostly cloudy, a little more humid out there. A couple of scattered storms or a few showers. Like I said, about a 40% chance for some rain. 90 for a high temperature today. Some leftovers tomorrow morning, and then we'll have more sunshine. And actually, we'll then get into a pattern of a little more humidity in the morning, a little less humidity in the afternoon. So it'll be comfortable tomorrow afternoon. About the same thing then on Thursday, Friday, as far as not any rain chances, but we will have more rain, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, another rain chance, as well as on Saturday, and temperatures will be right around the mid-90s. So, yeah, downside, we got some more humidity around here, but at least we do have some rain chances because we could use some. Details coming up. Time saver traffic right now. Officer Marcus Trujillo, anything going on out there?
Well, Mike, as we take a look at the roadways, we're still clearing that one accident, 1604 Lock Hill Selma. So eastbound 1604 access road, right there as you're getting to the stoplight with Lock Hill Selma, you see we have a number of emergency vehicles out there. Now, main lanes still moving along fairly well, but if you're exiting, you will have a little bit of a slowdown this morning. Mark and Stephanie?
Thank you, Marcus. New this morning, police looking for a shooter who they say killed a man overnight. It happened in the 1100 block of Ridgewood just after 3 a.m. They say a man and woman were inside that vehicle in a back alley when the shooter walked up, asked the man's name, and fired one shot, killing him. The woman who was also inside the vehicle was able to get out and run away. Police say the suspect fired several shots at her, but she faked being shot and threw herself on the ground. That's when they say the suspect took off. That incident remains under investigation.
New this morning, a passenger riding on a motorcycle is being treated after a crash in the downtown area overnight. Happened just before midnight at the intersection of Alamo and Market Streets. San Antonio police said the motorcycle was trying to turn when a truck got in the way. SAPD says a woman on the motorcycle fell off, hurting her leg. She was taken to the hospital. There were no other reports of injuries.
And the number of COVID-19 cases in Bexar County continue to rise. Despite these high numbers, businesses across the area continue to reopen, including the JW Marriott. Our Sarah Costa is live downtown. And Sarah, what kind of changes are we going to see at the resort?
Good morning, Mark and Stephanie. Well, the number of people allowed in the pool, restaurant, and lobby areas will be limited, and there'll be a number of sanitation areas. This as the number of COVID-19 cases continues to rise in Bexar County. Yesterday, 151 new cases reported yesterday, bringing in the total number of 4,393 cases in the county. There are no new deaths to report since yesterday, but there have been a total of 88 deaths in the county due to the disease. The number of active cases are 2,113, and 2,280 patients have recovered. Metro health officials say the area's COVID-19 daily positivity rate has doubled from 5.8% on June 7th to approximately 10 to 11%. Now, despite these numbers, the JW Marriott will reopen its doors today. The resort suspended operations in mid-March due to the pandemic. Resort management says staff will be getting routine temperature checks, and heavy traffic areas will be enhanced with plexiglass screens. As for their famous River Buff pool area, limited number of people will be allowed in that area. Reporting live from downtown, I'm Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News. Mark and Stephanie.
Sarah, thank you. Meanwhile, the Surgeon General pushing back on the idea that face coverings infringe on personal freedoms. On Twitter, Dr. Jerome Adams wrote, quote, "Some feel face coverings infringe on freedoms of choice, but if more wear them, we'll have more freedom to go out," end quote. Dr. Adams says face coverings lead to less asymptomatic spread of the virus, which will allow places to open sooner and improve the economy. Earlier guidance from U.S. officials did not recommend masks, but in April, the CDC recommended face coverings for the general public in places where social distancing is difficult, like grocery stores. 3 weeks have passed since George Floyd was killed in police custody.
Since then, there have been daily protests against police brutality, and as CNN's John Lawrence reports, a police shooting in Atlanta Friday has sparked more outrage.
A large crowd disrupting traffic on an Atlanta interstate Sunday night. They're protesting Friday's fatal police shooting of Rayshard Brooks. Police found Brooks asleep in his car at a Wendy's drive-thru. After a sobriety test, an officer tries to arrest him.
Put your hands on your butt.
Brooks resists and there is a scuffle. Witness video shows Brooks taking a taser from police, and surveillance video shows him shooting it toward an officer. He was then shot by police and taken to a hospital where he was pronounced dead.
We know he was shot twice in the back, once in his mid-back and once in his buttocks, and those shots ended up killing him.
An autopsy report lists the 27-year-old's death as a homicide.
I watched the interaction with Mr. Brooks, and it broke my heart. This was not confrontational.
The day after the shooting, protesters set fire to the Wendy's where Brooks was killed, and Officer Garrett Rolfe, who police say shot Brooks, was terminated. The other officer at the scene is on administrative duty. In addition to Atlanta, there were calls for police reform in numerous other cities, including Washington, D.C., New York, and Miami.
These deaths will not be in vain. There's a movement across this country, and it is changing all of our cities.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
San Antonio Police and CrimeStoppers need help trying to find suspects wanted in a local murder case. Back on May 31st, 30-year-old Jimmy Lee Robinson was shot and killed at the intersection of Fair Avenue and South Hackberry. Police say the shooter fired several shots inside Robinson's car. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. Suspect's vehicle was captured on surveillance video driving away from the scene. Take a look at your screen. If you recognize this SUV, call CrimeStoppers at 210-224-STOP. You can remain anonymous. You can also get a $5,000 reward if information you provide leads to an arrest in that case. Just about 540, 72 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. A warning about using counterfeit skin products and why you should avoid them, even if the price seems right.
And next, we'll tell you about how lawmakers in the nation's capital are reacting to demands for police reform across the country.
And taking a look outside with live cam, beautiful downtown San Antonio. It is 72 degrees. Enjoy this morning. We might get some rain chances later. We're going to check in with Mike to see what those chances are in just a bit. We'll be right back.
542, the latest on a push for police reform as more states are moving to ban chokeholds.
In Washington, a new debate is emerging on whether people should be able to sue police officers. ABC's Alex Brachet has the details.
This morning, some lawmakers in Congress now pushing to limit qualified immunity, which protects police officers from being held personally liable for actions performed in their official capacity.
We have to ask ourselves as a society, do we want to have a nation where police officers who do really awful things cannot be held accountable to civil rights charges?
But Republican Senator Tim Scott says efforts to end immunity for officers has no chance of becoming law.
From the Republican perspective, and the president has sent the signal that qualified immunity is off the table.
Several states are already making changes at police departments. New York is repealing a statute that kept disciplinary records for officers secret. The governor is now giving a 9-month deadline for governments across the state to come up with reforms or see their funding cut. Other measures in New York and a number of other states are banning officers from using chokeholds and neck restraints, like the one used on George Floyd before he died. President Trump saying he also opposes chokeholds, but not in all situations.
There's a physical thing here also. But if a police officer is in a bad scuffle and he's got somebody.
Well, if it's a one-on-one fight for the life.
Yeah, and that does happen. And that does happen.
But
so you have to be careful. With that being said, it would be, I think, a very good thing that, generally speaking, it should be ended.
The president is expected to sign an executive order later this week laying out new initiatives focused on police reform. And according to Lee Merritt, who's an attorney representing a lot of black families who have lost loved ones at the hands of police, the order will create a national standard for use of force. Alex Brachet, ABC News, Washington.
Time check, 5:44, still 72 degrees.
We've all heard of counterfeit Gucci and Louis Vuitton, but what about your makeup? Knockoff makeup and skincare products, they're not just illegal, they can actually be dangerous. We're going to tell you why next.
From purses to wallets to sunglasses, we've all heard about counterfeit Gucci and Louis Vuitton, but what about makeup?
Knockoff makeup and skincare products, they're not only illegal, they can actually be dangerous. Our Sarah Costa has the details.
Lipsticks, eyeshadows, and moisturizers. If the price is too good to be true, it usually is.
These fake either makeup products or skincare products can have urine, human feces, animal feces, arsenic, lead, mercury.
These harmful ingredients can lead to chemical burns, bacterial infections, and sometimes worse. You may think you'd be able to spot a fake anywhere, but these dupes have been found to have strikingly similar packaging and texture.
I have looked at compared fakes to real, and even for me, it is so hard to tell, and especially because companies are always rebranding.
Stay away from resale sites, but counterfeit products are also sold by places like Amazon and large retail stores.
The big thing is that there's no oversight on places like Walmart Marketplace and Amazon in terms of third-party sellers.
Buy from a reputable source like Ulta, Sephora, or the company's website. Spot test the product by swatching it on your hand before applying it to your face. And if you're really concerned,
toss it. And certainly, if they think it's fake, like it has a funny smell or it's got a funny consistency.
Sarah Acosta, KSAT 12 News.
Steph said she's going to check her makeup just in case.
Well, it made me nervous. I did read through the script. I was like, okay, mine's not on there.
Yeah, right.
Oof. Yes.
Why not? 548, 72 degrees.
How is traffic looking out there, Marcus?
Well, right now we're looking pretty good. We managed to clear up that one accident that we did have. It was a major accident, 1604 Lock Hill, Selma. So all that's cleared up and moved out of the way. So as you can see, traffic moving freely once again. So the east and westbound lanes and access roads so far move along fairly well.
And notice in the background of that picture, there are a few clouds hanging around there. We do have some hanging around this morning, a couple of showers here and there. So.
Yeah, it's definitely summer. It seems like the sun is always up or almost up. Yeah, working on it now.
Quite a while.
Yes, and on paper, the longest day of the year is going to be Saturday.
Saturday.
Sometimes it doesn't always work out that way just because of the light being refracted around there. Earth and all that. But
all that sciencey stuff.
Yeah, that being the summer solstice, the longest day of the year.
Well, rose by any other name doesn't matter. That's Mom's.
It's still a rose. That's Mom's, and gosh, that's beautiful.
That's pretty.
Kind of is that completely yellow? It's almost got kind of a orangish
little tint right there. That's pretty.
That's a beautiful flower, though. Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture. All right, we've got a little bit of, you can see sort of a haze. It's not quite as crisp and clear as what it looked like and as we ended up last week. 72 in town, 63 Bernie, pretty nice in the hill country. Temperatures are up about 5, maybe 10 degrees compared to where they were again a few days ago, and even over the weekend when we had temperatures down in the 60s to start off. And these numbers are up about 10 to even 15 degrees compared to last week. Remember, we had some dew points down in the 40s out in portions of the hill country last week. So there is more humidity out there. It's not oppressively humid, but you notice it when you step outside. It does look like we may see a bit of a break in the afternoon humidity the next couple of days. We'll kind of get into that sort of 24-hour cycle where we usually have more humidity and some clouds in the morning, and then the humidity does drop a little bit by the afternoon. However, by the weekend, it looks like we'll definitely see a rise in the humidity. Now, as far as any rain, we've got a couple of these showers. There's obviously more developing out here in the Gulf of Mexico, and everything is sliding on shore. And just this one little spot right there that had moved through Cuero, and it's continuing. I mean, it's chugging right along. Not much of it, but just moving off to the northeast. And we will see a few more later on this afternoon. This is that rapid update computer model, and it's depicting, again, a few showers hanging around here this morning. More trying to develop, especially in the heat of the afternoon, even a thunderstorm or two. Those should be dying down once the sun goes down, and then it looks like we may see another wave trying to move on in here to start off tomorrow morning, and then that will be sort of clearing out by the afternoon. So as far as temperatures today, going to be up right around 90 for a high here in town. This one keeps us right at 90 or 89 degrees, but 90, some mid-90s in the Rio Grande Valley. Then add in the humidity, so there will be a heat index to deal with. It's not going to be off the charts, but again, enough to where you notice it a bit more as we go into this afternoon. So that'll be something that, even though we get that afternoon break the next couple of days, will definitely be, you'll notice humidity as we go into the rest of the week. At least we have some chances for some rain. I'll get my words straight on a Monday. 85 degrees today at noon. Some scattered showers, a couple of thunderstorms around here, as well as later on today. 90 for high temperature, and numbers are being held in check today. It's not normal highs 92, so we're actually a little bit below that. We'll make it back up to normal tomorrow. A couple of morning showers and thunderstorms left over, and then some sunshine in the afternoon. Mostly sunny on Wednesday, Thursday. More humidity in the morning, a bit of a break by the afternoon, and then Friday, few showers around here, probably a little bit better chance of rain. I'm not talking great chances, but slightly better on Saturday. And Sunday looks pretty good. Of course, Saturday is the official beginning of summer, and Sunday is Father's Day.
We like your bow tie.
Yes,
on the graphic
yes. For Father's Day. Very appropriate.
Thank you.
And a good reminder for everybody out there, don't forget your dad.
That's right. Thank you, Mike. Right now we're at 552, 72 degrees.
And a new documentary on the life of legendary jazz singer Ella Fitzgerald coming up next, a preview of the new film and when it's headed to virtual cinemas.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, the latest on the protests across the nation and the anger in Atlanta after that fatal shooting of a black man, Rayshard Brooks, shot in the back after a struggle in a parking lot. The incident was all caught on camera. One officer has been fired, the other on administrative leave. We hear from the victim's wife this morning. You'll see it right here on GMA.
There are some people who are born with God-given talent, and then there are the rest of us. My mother had God-given talent.
The First Lady of Jazz is immortalized on film in the documentary Ella Fitzgerald, Just One of Those Things.
There she is.
Understated, shy, she was like a little girl.
Directed by documentarian Leslie Woodhead, the film follows Fitzgerald from childhood through stardom and her later years. Journalist and author Reggie Nadelson conducted the interviews.
She was a very reserved woman. She didn't wear her heart on her sleeve. My favorite line, which a wonderful writer called Margot Jefferson told me, she said, you know, some people wore their heart on their sleeve. Ella just turned all her miseries into joy.
The film reveals an unbroadcast interview with Fitzgerald commenting on racial issues in the 1960s.
What we found most wonderfully in the Paley Museum of Media was a broadcast Ella did with a DJ named Fred Robbins, where she suddenly, out of the blue, lets loose about race. And this is from the most polite, most reserved, most adored entertainer, I guess, at the time anywhere.
People truly loved her.
She was Ella. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Still ahead in our next half hour of Good Morning San Antonio on your Monday morning. A new surge in coronavirus numbers. At least 22 states, including Texas, showing a rise in infections. We'll check out how many new patients hospitals are now seeing. And Marcus is here, keeping tabs on things. You see those morning clouds? We'll check back in with Mike Ostrage and look ahead to the first weekend of summer 2020 coming up.
Police tell me what started with a man and woman having relations in the back of a vehicle in a back alley ends with a shooting. Now one man is dead. Investigators working to figure out who exactly pulled the trigger. I'm Max Massey. I'll have the details of what we know this morning.
As demonstrations continue across the country on police brutality and racial injustice, San Antonio city leaders say they want to listen. I'm Sarah Acosta. Coming up in just a bit, we'll tell you about the city's open forum meetings.
New coronavirus numbers over the weekend point to a possible second wave. I'm Alex Boucher in Washington. I'll have details coming up.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, it is 73 degrees. It's okay this morning, but I was thinking about yesterday when it was not as humid, so that was nice, but it's still going to be a great day. It is Monday. We're going to check in with Mike in just a bit.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Oh, just wait, because summer officially starts this coming weekend. But let's get through Monday. Good morning, everybody. It is Monday. It is June 15th, and it's wonderful to have Stephanie Cerna in house this morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, and hopefully you guys had a wonderful weekend.
Yes, it was nice weather, to say the least.
It was. The humidity, though, has made a comeback just in time for the work week.
And, you know, it's funny because Stephanie is the most optimistic and everything, you know, she's just happy about everything. And for her to go, it's okay.
It's okay. Yeah, it kind of speaks volumes.
It was a little switch, yes.
That speaks volumes. So, as you can see, it is a little fuzzier looking, just looking at this view of the skyline, and temperatures have been fluctuating right around 72, 73 degrees. We actually went up a degree in the past hour, 64 at Bernie Stage and low 60s in the Hill Country. And it's these numbers. Now, comfort, still very nice. Kerrville, Tarpley, Los Maples. You're right at about 60 for a dew point temperature, but we are above that in the mid 60s, mid to upper 60s. So, yeah, you notice the humidity, and it's, Stephanie, okay when you step outside this morning. A couple of showers are showing up, and this one little spot right here is definitely trying to hold together. I mean, it's almost like the little engine that could. It just keeps chugging right along there, moved through Cuero, and continues working its way up to the northwest. And there will be a couple of more of these showers kind of developing there along the coastal plain throughout the rest of the morning and even this afternoon. All the allergens are on the low side as of right now, and temperatures, we will be right around low 70s, upper 60s this morning, and we are going to be seeing, call it partly cloudy skies throughout the day. 85 degrees today at noon, and we'll also have a couple of showers and a few thunderstorms out there later on this afternoon. 90 for a high temperature, so actually a couple of degrees below normal, and again, about a 30-40% chance for some showers and thunderstorms later on today. As far as traffic, time saver traffic, here's Officer Marcus Trujillo, and, well, map looks pretty good. Anything we should know about?
Well, we did have that one major accident earlier at 1604 Lock Hill Summer area, but that's cleared up. It's out of the way. So as you can see here, everything's in the green, so that's great news. Let's scroll through a few TransGuide cameras. You can get a first-hand view. There, I-10 at Ralphville Road, inbound and outbound lanes looking great with no problems there. 35 at Walsham. And as we move on to one other camera there, 1604 Traceman, you can see that accident is out of the way. All lanes open once again. Stephanie, Mark.
Marcus, thank you. As we speak, police are searching for a gunman who shot and killed a man near I-10 in West Hildebrand. Officers were called out to the 1100 block of Ridgewood just after 3 o'clock this morning.
Investigators are still on the scene, and so is our Max Massey. Now, Max, you say it appears there were multiple shell casings.
That's right. If you follow me past this caution tape, zooming in, we see about 10 evidence markers right in the middle of the road. We are here on Michigan Avenue, and just to the left of those evidence markers, that is the back alley where police found the victim. We now know a man in his 20s shot and killed early this morning. Here's what we're told as of this morning. Around 3 a.m., a man and woman were having what police only referred to as relations in a vehicle in that back alley when a suspect walked up, asked the man's name, fired one shot, killing that victim. As for the woman who was also inside the vehicle, she was able to get out, run away. The suspect didn't let her go peacefully, though. He allegedly fired multiple shots at her, but we're told that she actually faked being shot. She threw herself on the ground. That is when the suspect took off. Police do tell me right now they believe that this could be drug related, but they are still combing through the area trying to figure out what exactly happened here, why it happened, and who is responsible. Mark, Stephanie?
This morning, a man is recovering in the hospital after police say he was hit by a car overnight. According to San Antonio police, they were finishing up their food at an IHOP of 10 and Dominion near Bernie Stage Road when a man walked into the restaurant covered in blood and disoriented. Police say the man told them he had just been hit by a car but was unable to give a vehicle description of exactly where it happened. He was taken to University Hospital in stable condition.
This morning, we are hearing from the family of a local woman who was killed in a crash over the weekend. Police arrested 39-year-old Leonel Martinez and a second person who has not been identified yet. Both were in the Hummer that caused that deadly crash. Police say they tried to run from the scene, but they were caught soon after. The crash happened at Martin Luther King Jr. Drive in Walters on Saturday. 27-year-old Destiny Rodriguez was pronounced dead at the scene. Her family says they never imagined her life would end so suddenly.
You hear about it all the time and never think it's going to happen to anybody you know.
Meanwhile, Martinez now faces several charges, including DWI, intoxication, manslaughter, and failure to stop and render aid.
A surge of COVID-19 cases continues in Bexar County after 151 new cases were reported yesterday. That brings the total number of cases to 4,393. 88 people have died so far since the start of the pandemic. Health officials say the daily positivity rate has doubled, which is a warning sign. This comes after Texas saw the highest number of COVID cases and hospitalizations just last week.
In case you missed it over the weekend, Governor Greg Abbott says he will not allow Bexar County to force people to wear face masks in public. Judge Nelson Wolf asked the governor to allow local leaders to do so after Metro Health said the county is in its second wave. The governor says people have an individual responsibility to wear masks and that he does not believe in government mandates to accomplish that goal.
Employees at 4 H-E-B stores in San Antonio have tested positive for the coronavirus. 3 of those stores located on the south side along Military, 1 store located on Nogalitos, not far from the Lone Star District. You can find specific locations at KSAT.com. H-E-B is asking but not requiring customers to wear face masks to help prevent the spread of the virus.
And across the nation, at least 22 states and Puerto Rico are showing a rise in COVID-19 infections. 8 states have a rise in hospitalizations.
Still, others are continuing plans to reopen. ABC's Alex Perche has more.
Good morning. New Jersey is the latest state to enter phase 2 of reopening. But there's a lot of concern across the country that as these restrictions are lifted and as people get away from the COVID safety guidelines, we may see another spike. This morning, more reopenings. But across the country, coronavirus cases are on the rise. At least 22 states and Puerto Rico have an increase in new reported cases. That includes Arizona. There have been 1,200 new cases since Saturday. Now, some Phoenix bars and restaurants are closing down for a second time. In Utah, COVID-19 is disproportionately affecting the Latino community. They're 14% of the population, but make up 42% of the cases. Florida set another record, reporting 2,000 cases in 24 hours for the second day in a row. The governor there saying an outbreak among farm workers and increased testing in nursing homes is partially behind the surge in numbers. 8 states have seen an increase in hospitalizations.
We don't yet know what our peak is.
New York State is seeing its lowest number of hospitalizations and deaths since the pandemic began. But images like this over the weekend have drawn criticism from the governor.
A bar or restaurant that is violating these rules can lose their liquor license.
Also, 2 Big Ten schools say they'll have students on campus this fall. Yesterday, both Penn State and the University of Wisconsin announced plans to reopen with students. Alex Perche, ABC News, Washington.
Since the death of George Floyd, protests have swept the nation with communities fighting against police brutality and racial injustice.
The cry from protesters has been to reform policing policies, including right here in San Antonio. Sarah Costa is live downtown with how city leaders are responding. Sarah?
Good morning, Mark and Stephanie. Well, Mayor Ron Nirenberg says they are here to listen, which is why they are hosting 3 public forum meetings on the issue this week. The San Antonio City Council Committee on Public Safety says they will host 3 community listening sessions to gather feedback on policing in San Antonio. Mayor Ron Nirenberg says, quote, civic engagement is crucial to the city's democracy, and community voices are particularly important as we developed policies related to public safety procedures, end quote. The mayor believes the listening sessions will provide important guidance regarding the public's priorities and expectations. The Public Safety Committee will host 3 sessions, 1 in person and 2 virtual meetings. Today will be the first virtual meeting from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. The second meeting will be in person at the City Council chambers. That's on Thursday from 3 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. And the third meeting will be virtual from 11:30 in the morning to 1:30 p.m. on Saturday. Now, for instructions on how to comment on those virtual meetings and participate, or how to sign up for that one in-person meeting on Thursday, you can find all of that information right now on KSAT.com. From downtown, I'm Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Sarah. 6:10 right now, 73 degrees.
Hotel chains are introducing new technology to help keep customers stay safe. See how you might use an app during your next stay.
Local high school graduate making the leap from small town to bustling city. We'll learn about Miles and his volunteer history in today's Great Graduate.
And happy Monday morning to you. Taking a look outside with live cam. It is 73 degrees for now. Hey, enjoy that because it's going to be in the 90s later on today. But we have some good news though. There may be chances of rain this week. We're going to check in with Mike in just a bit. And welcome back at 6:14. Hard work and determination has paid off for one recent graduating senior.
Miles Korzekwa recently graduated as valedictorian from Poth High School. And as he tells our Erica Hernandez that despite coming up from a small town, he's ready to accomplish some big goals.
Just outside Poth sits the small community of Kosciuszko. It's where Miles Korzekwa and his family live. Soon a big change for him as he packs his bags and moves to Austin to attend the University of Texas's McCombs School of Business.
I'm really looking forward to just being in that really that busy environment with all these things happening just in the city. It's not like that over here.
Since his freshman year of high school, Miles knew he wanted to go to business school, and by his sophomore year, he started researching what it needed to do to better his chances. He joined a volunteer program at the Museum, and for 9 weeks made the over 40-mile drive weekly.
I was part of a program that we volunteered for at least 100 hours on whatever we wanted to do, really, either on the floor or upstairs in administration. I was on the floor for it, and it was a really fun experience, and it really developed my professional skills a lot.
And his hard work paid off, finishing in the top of his senior class with a 106.39 GPA. Despite a spring semester that was full of many unknowns, Miles is ready to take everything he has learned and start a new chapter in his life.
Even though we've had all this stuff going on, there's still better things ahead.
Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
6:16, 73 degrees.
And congratulations once again to Miles, and now headed to Marcus Trujillo.
And right now, as we take a look at roadways, as far as the highways are concerned, no accidents. So let's take a look at the 35 at Walsham. You can see north and southbound lanes running smoothly all the way through 35 at FM 1103 and even 35 at Topperwine. Now I-10 to Callahan, east-westbound lane, so far, no problems there.
Good news.
Mike?
Yes?
How you doing?
Good. Yeah, fantastic weekend. It was absolutely delightful this weekend, and we had some beautiful sunrises, beautiful sunsets.
Can we talk about Jack for just a sec?
Yeah, congrats.
Okay.
Congratulations.
I'll be a proud parent. My son graduated, as did a lot of seniors over the past couple of weeks, but they had a nice commencement ceremony over the weekend.
And you also graduated. You're 1 year further down the road with the little missus.
Yes, indeed. Yesterday was our 23rd anniversary. So.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
The fun weekend at the Osterhage house.
A lot going on, and so now just kind of
winding down.
It settles down. Hopefully we get some rain coming in here in the next couple of days. We do have some rain chances today as well, and boy, what a beautiful, beautiful sunset. A couple of clouds hanging around here. That's just beautiful. That'd make a great painting on your wall. Notice how we do have clouds starting off this morning. Had some clear skies, and it's not completely clouded over, but had a lot more clear skies when I came into work about 3 o'clock this morning. And now we do have a few more out there. 73 degrees in town. Been holding steady for the past couple of hours. And we've got some low 60s in portions of the hill country. These numbers keep pointing out the dew points, the measure moisture in the atmospheres, and this is how you figure out what relative humidity is. But when these numbers get above 60, so it's still fairly comfortable in parts of the hill country, but now you start to feel the humidity more. And it's not like it's not like it's window dripping kind of humidity, but you can kind of smell it and feel it when you step outside. And humidity is going to remain present, I'll put it that way, throughout the rest of the afternoon. It'll stay a little bit higher today, and that's actually going to feed, though, a couple of showers and thunderstorms, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. Now, the next couple of days we'll kind of go through our 24-hour cycle that a lot of times happens in the summer, where we'll see more humidity in the morning, and then it will be dropping down a little bit in the afternoon, so it will be slightly more comfortable by the afternoon, and we're going to do it all over again, obviously, Wednesday morning. Radar, we've got a couple of showers. Now, there's a lot more kind of developing out here in the Gulf of Mexico, so this energy and this flow will continue on in here. And these this one little spot, this thing is definitely holding together. It's not really growing all that much, but it continues to kind of trek up there in toward the northwest. And if it holds together, it may actually move in towards Seguin and New Braunfels. Now, computer models do have a few more showers developing throughout the day, and this morning actually, and then later on this afternoon. 30-40% chance for some rain. So a decent shot at some rain later on today. Most of that's going to be up to about dinner time or early evening, and then they'll be dying down once the sun goes down. And then more are trying to develop tomorrow, first part of the day, especially off to the west, and those will be dying down by later on in the afternoon. We'll have more sunshine in the afternoon. So as far as temperatures today, we're going to make it up into the upper 80s, low 90s, mid 90s along the Rio Grande Valley, and then heat index readings will be a few degrees above that. It's not going to be like what it was this time last week. Remember when we had just that outrageously high humidity, but there will be enough humidity to add a couple of degrees to the actual air temperature today. So we're going to be up to 85 degrees today at noon. We'll have a couple of showers, a couple of thunderstorms scattered about the area, and later on this afternoon, 90 for a high temperature. Actually, a couple of notches below normal with a few showers and a few thunderstorms, and wind out of the southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. A couple of morning showers and storms tomorrow, and then we'll have more sunshine in the afternoon. 92, 68 starting off on Wednesday, so a little bit lower as far as low temperature. And then we get up into the mid 90s for the middle part of the week. Another rain chance Friday and Saturday. Again, these are not big, storm systems coming in here. Right. It's not a good rain chance, but at least it's something. I know my grass could use it.
Yes, we could use a little bit of rain around here. And you've got the beach ball and the bow tie going on your graphic there.
Yes, it is first day of summer Saturday. And of course, Father's Day.
Yeah, we're ready.
Dear old dad.
People should have been planning for that since
Mother's Day.
Since Mother's Day.
Since that Monday after Father's Day last year.
Exactly.
Oh, that long.
Well, some of us, it takes a whole year to remember, right? 621, 73 degrees.
And a new biography about Melania Trump details the First Lady's influence at the White House. Find out more in your GMA First Look after the break.
Here's your secret word of the day. Enter it on KSAT.com/Circle K for a monthly chance to win free gas for a year. Every entry wins a Polar Pop. We are Circle K.
More Mornings were made for better things than rheumatoid arthritis or psoriatic arthritis. When considering another treatment, ask about Xeljanz XR, a once-daily pill for adults with moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis or active psoriatic arthritis for whom methotrexate did not work well enough. It can reduce pain, swelling, and significantly improve physical function. Xeljanz can lower your ability to fight infections like TB. Don't start Xeljanz if you have an infection. Taking a higher than recommended dose of Xeljanz for RA can increase risk of death. Serious, sometimes fatal infections, cancers, including lymphoma, and blood clots have happened, as have tears in the stomach or intestines, serious allergic reactions, and changes in lab results. Tell your doctor if you've been somewhere fungal infections are common, or if you've had TB, hepatitis B or C, or are prone to infections. Don't let another morning go by without asking your doctor about Xeljanz XR.
In this morning's GMA First Look, one-on-one with the writer of the revealing new book, The Art of Ordeal, the untold story of Melania Trump.
A photographer who knew Melania said to me, she's like a ghost. Everyone knows her, but no one does.
Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter Mary Jordan interviewing Melania's friends, teachers, and people inside the White House.
She only came to the United States for the very first time when she was 26 years old. And 20 years later, she's heading to the White House. So I just wanted to find more information. Who is this person? She is, after all, one of the most recognized people in the world.
Melania Trump hasn't yet responded to ABC News' request for comment about the book. We'll have more of our interview and more revelations from the book coming up at 7 a.m. with your GMA First Look. I'm Kira Phillips, ABC News, Washington.
Walmart is putting their idea of only self-checkout lines to the test. The location in Arkansas will have a host there just in case customers need help. Things go smoothly during the trial period. The system will be implemented in other Walmarts.
The hotel industry is preparing to launch new apps aimed at making your stay as touchless as possible. The goal is to allow guests to use their cell phones to control the television, temperature, and other hotel room features. They say electronic platforms will quickly become the new normal.
All right, hold on there, Steph. Samsung has teamed up with South Korean superstars BTS on a smartphone. The K-pop group's Galaxy S20 Plus has a purple exterior with a BTS logo on the back. Anyone ordering the phone will get a special deal on matching BTS-inspired earbuds. Are you gonna be okay at that news?
So pretty.
It's not Hello Kitty, but it's close.
Well, you know, close enough.
It is.
It's a nice purple shade.
Right.
Time now, 73 degrees.
As cases continue to rise in Bexar County, more businesses and services are reopening amid the pandemic. We will see what is opening up despite their doors, despite the recent surge.
Protests continue in Atlanta, Georgia, after another black man died during an altercation with a police officer. We're going to have the details next.
Outside with live cam, the humidity is back. Mike's forecast is coming up. Hope you had a wonderful weekend, everyone, and thanks for tuning in here on GMSA. It is Monday. It is June 15th. And right around the corner is the first official day of summer, and everybody's in place. Marcus, how's traffic looking, sir?
Looking pretty good. We have a little hazard sign, but it's not on the main lanes. It's on one of the smaller streets, so all the highways looking pretty good.
That thing is huge. I know it's not real, though.
No,
Hasn't he seen these before? So
he had too much sun this weekend.
I did.
Remember, he fell in the water.
That's true.
Oh, yes.
Blaming it on a top-heavy cooler.
Cooler, yes. Kayaks go.
But at least the weather was nice when
Yeah, it was.
your
It was.
accident happened.
It was real nice.
It was wonderful to be outside this weekend. You know, we had some beautiful, nice, pleasant mornings, and this morning it's not bad out there. Not like what it was this time last week when we had so much humidity, but as you can see, it is kind of fuzzy looking, and we do have some clouds that have been developing. Temperatures, we're at a normal low right now as opposed to being well below normal like we were over the weekend and late last week. Low 60s out in the Hill Country, 70 Stinson, 71 in Port SA, and Castroville is at 73 like at the airport. And then these numbers have definitely gone up. Dew points are about 10 to almost 15 degrees higher than what they were over the weekend and last week. So yeah, you notice the humidity when you go outside. We do have some showers that are developing, some moisture coming in here from the Gulf of Mexico, and little bits of energy in this one lone little spot right here. A couple little spots that have been just moving right along throughout most of the morning, moving through Cuero, and now up kind of splitting the goalpost between Nixon and Gonzales, and nothing, too bad, just one lone little shower. That's the nice thing with the forecast, though. Even though we do have some humidity, we do have some rain chances. And it's been a while since we've had some rain. Low amounts of mold grass and pigweed right now. Mostly cloudy, more humid this morning, a couple of those showers, and then a few scattered showers, a couple of thunderstorms later on this afternoon. Right about 90 for a high temperature, but it will feel slightly warmer than that with the humidity. Some morning showers and storms, and then more sunshine in the afternoon. And we'll go into that pattern for then the next few days. Morning humidity, a little bit lower in the afternoon, clouds in the morning, sunshine in the afternoon. A couple of more thunderstorms are possible, maybe Friday, Saturday. More on the weekend forecast. First weekend of summer officially coming up. And well, that big giant blob that Mark was talking about is gone now. So.
Well, I moved it over to Mark's desk. So right now, as we take a look at the roadways, the highways still look pretty good. So let's get over to Transguide right now. I-10 Callahan, eastbound and westbound lane so far, no issues there. And then 281 in Hildebrand, folks move around that curve just fine this morning with no delays. And 35 410 north and southbound lanes still running smoothly. Stephanie?
Thank you, Marcus. One man shot and killed this morning, and police are still looking for the person who pulled the trigger. It happened in the 1100 block of Ridgewood near Hildebrand. Our Max Massey has been at the scene all morning. And Max, how does it look out there now?
Well, the caution tape is still up. The investigators are still out here. And now that the sun has risen, we can see more of those evidence markers more clearly. And then just next to the evidence markers, that is the back alley that the vehicle was, where that man was found shot and killed. Here's what we know as of this morning. Police on the scene telling me that the suspect, a man with a gun, walked up to a vehicle where a man and woman were having relations. They asked the man's name. He answered. That's when that suspect pulled out the gun, pulled the trigger. One shot was fired, but the victim pronounced dead on the scene. Right now, we are told the man in his 20s shot and killed around 3 a.m. this morning. As for the woman who was also in that vehicle, she was able to escape. She started running away. The suspect didn't let her go peacefully, though. He allegedly fired multiple rounds in her direction. She went to the ground. She threw herself on the ground, fake being hit. That's when the suspect actually ended up taking off. Now, officers on the scene also telling me they believe this could be drug related. We actually just spoke to a neighbor who lives just next to where the bullets were flying this morning. That neighbor telling me she heard more than 5 bullets. So scary, she didn't even want to leave her house to go to work. But as we saw earlier, investigators still here, still combing through the scene, trying to figure out why exactly this happened and who is responsible. Mark, Stephanie.
Thank you, Max. Since this time last week, there have been 1,082 new cases of COVID-19 reported here in Bexar County. 151 new cases reported in just the past 24 hours. Metro Health says hospital capacity is stable, though patient numbers are rising there as well. Local hospitals gained nearly 20 more patients, bringing the total to 176 of those patients. 70 are now in ICU, 29 are on ventilators.
There are new protests after a police officer shot and killed a black man in Atlanta. Rayshard Brooks was shot in the back after police tried to arrest him for allegedly driving drunk.
The Atlanta police chief has resigned, and the district attorney says they'll decide within the next few days whether to bring charges. ABC's Andrea Fujii has the latest.
Overnight, demonstrations from coast to coast after another deadly police shooting of a black man. Protesters also gathering at the Wendy's restaurant in Atlanta, where a police officer shot Rayshard Brooks Friday night. The incident all captured on police body and dash cam video, which began after the officers responded to a call that Brooks was allegedly asleep in his car, blocking the drive-thru. Police say he was then given multiple sobriety tests, which they say he failed.
Can you take a preliminary breath test for me? Just yes or no?
I don't want to refuse anything.
Police say he resisted arrest, which turned into a struggle, leading to him grabbing an officer's taser. Brooks flees and appears to point the stun gun at the officers while he runs away. Investigators say Officer Garrett Rolfe then fired 3 shots at Brooks, who died at the hospital after surgery. This morning, an autopsy reveals Brooks was shot twice in the back and lists the manner of death as homicide. Protesters hitting the streets over the weekend, setting fire to the Wendy's as the Atlanta police chief stepped down. The police department fired Officer Rolfe and suspended the other officer. This morning, the police union says Officer Rolfe was terminated without due process. According to the district attorney, a decision on whether to file charges is expected by midweek, and he says murder charges are being considered.
Following the facts, we're going to be examining and re-examining the evidence.
I didn't know that I was going to wake up to my husband never coming home.
Brooks' wife says he was not dangerous and calls the shooting a murder.
Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
Today, a Russian court sentenced an American to 16 years in prison on spying charges. The Moscow City Court says Paul Whelan committed espionage and that he will serve his time in a maximum security prison. Whelan, a former Marine officer, has said he is innocent and says he was set up. He was arrested back in 2018. The U.S. Embassy has also denounced Whelan's trial, saying no evidence has been provided.
San Antonio police and CrimeStoppers need your help by trying to identify suspects wanted in a local murder. Back on May 31st, 30-year-old Jimmy Lee Robinson was shot and killed at the intersection of Fair Avenue and South Hackberry. Police say the shooter fired several shots at Robinson's car. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. Suspect's vehicle was captured on surveillance video driving away from the scene. Take a look at your screen. If you recognize this vehicle, call CrimeStoppers at 210-224-STOP. Of course, you can remain anonymous and you could be eligible for a $5,000 reward if your information leads to an arrest.
If you are involved in a serious car crash, you expect the police and fire department to respond. What you probably do not expect is to get a bill for that. But that's exactly what some area municipalities are doing, charging drivers for cleaning up accidents. Cities say it helps cover their costs, but critics call it a hidden tax. Right now, you can watch our latest Defenders investigation on KSAT.com.
And real quick, as we're going to break, we have some late breaking news. A U.S. Air Force F-15 has crashed off the coast of England. Apparently, it was a part of the 48th Fighter Wing based at RAF Lakenheath in the UK. We have no information on the fate of the pilot, but again, a U.S. Air Force F-15 has crashed in the North Sea off the coast of England. More to come on that. 6:39, 73 degrees.
And makeup is something many women and some men use every day, but it's important to be aware of knockoff brands. After the break, we're going to take a look at how fake makeup can be dangerous.
.642, welcome back. We've all heard about those counterfeit Gucci and Louis Vuitton bags, but fake makeup exists as well.
Knockoff makeup and skincare products, they're not just illegal, they can actually be dangerous. Our Sarah Costa has the details.
Lipsticks, eyeshadows, and moisturizers. If the price is too good to be true, it usually is.
These fake either makeup products or skincare products can have urine, human feces, animal feces, arsenic, lead, mercury.
These harmful ingredients can lead to chemical burns, bacterial infections, and sometimes worse. You may think you'd be able to spot a fake anywhere, but these dupes have been found to have strikingly similar packaging and texture.
I have looked at compared fakes to real, and even for me, it is so hard to tell, and especially because companies are always rebranding.
Stay away from resale sites, but counterfeit products are also sold by places like Amazon and large retail stores.
The big thing is that there's no oversight on places like Walmart Marketplace and Amazon in terms of third-party sellers.
Buy from a reputable source like Ulta, Sephora, or the company's website. Spot test the product by swatching it on your hand before applying it to your face. And if you're really concerned,
toss it. And certainly, if they think it's fake, like it has a funny smell or it's got a funny consistency.
Sarah Acosta, KSAT 12 News.
That's important to remember that cosmetics are way different than a handbag or jewelry. These are chemicals that go on your face and in the eye. Have peace of mind knowing the ingredients are safe and regulated.
Another tip, note the expiration date on all of your makeup and skincare products, as expired makeup can also start to harbor bacteria.
Well, it looks like live action sports is going to happen in San Antonio, and the Flying Chanclas will be around later this month. San Antonio Missions will be participating in the Texas Collegiate League. The squad will be made up of local college players from around the country as well. Players and coaches say they are excited to play ball. You can read more about the league and update on the mission schedule on Instant Replay page of KSAT.com. And trending right now on KSAT.com, you can celebrate the San Antonio River as part of National Rivers Month. San Antonio River Authority wants everyone to enjoy the river and see how beautiful it is and how they keep it clean. We have a link to a map which you can download to your phone and discover different ways to enjoy the waterways. You can find a link to other rivers in Texas and the United States as well.
And if you haven't seen it on your calendar, or if you haven't heard Mike talk about it yet, Father's Day is this upcoming Sunday. And right now on KSAT.com, we have ideas for gifts and how to help your dad celebrate his day, especially if you don't want to spend a lot of money. Now, some of them include giving him a day off from chores or responsibilities. That might mean taking control of the grill to cook him dinner, or letting him nap and lounge all morning. You can find out more ideas right now on our website at KSAT.com.
I thought we'd go ahead and get him a tie now. That takes pressure off Bonnie and the boys. Okay, Mike?
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good hint. That's a good hint. I know my husband would not want me to take over the grill. He's like, it's okay, sit down.
He's got it.
Yeah.
645, 73 degrees.
How's traffic looking out there, Marcus?
Still looking pretty good. Let's take a look at TransGuide once again. This is 35 Walsham area. North and southbound lanes running smoothly. And then I-10, Bertie Sage Road. You can see that east and westbound lanes, no issues. There comes the sun, folks, so make sure you take your sunglasses with you. I-10 and Callahan, east and westbound lanes, still no problems there. And 221 and Hildebrand looking great there as folks navigate that turn. 35 410, getting a little bit busy on those southbound main lanes, but not too bad.
Notice how we do have, there's not a lot of like shadows out there on the cars as of right now. So
not yet.
We do have some clouds, yeah. So
Mike, when it comes to perfect pictures, I know this has all the elements that you desire.
Well, did you read the caption?
I did not.
Okay. Hey, Mike. Here's another one of these beautiful Texas sunset windmill pictures, because we've been talking about how so many folks have been taking pictures of the gorgeous windmills brought to you from the lovely Shiner, Texas. You're welcome, and thank you very much. That's a great picture. So do we get kind of a competition now going? Who can get the best windmill?
I guess so, but they had you at windmill, didn't they?
Exactly. So, but that's a great picture. I love that shot. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right, take a look outside right now, and well, we do have a little bit of sun shining off the buildings there in the foreground. We will see some sunshine, obviously mixed in with the clouds today, and 73 here in town, 61 Comfort, 68 in Divine, as well as in Honda, and the humidity. You notice it when you step outside the front door this morning that it is definitely back, and it will stick around throughout most of the foreseeable future. But over the next couple of days, we'll probably see our trend of more humidity in the morning, a little bit less in the afternoon. Not necessarily today. We'll still keep some humidity around here today. Look at some of these dew points, even by dinner time, up around 70 or so. Yeah, that's really getting to the point where it's almost oppressive humid, and we'll have a lot more humidity tomorrow morning, and then it should be dropping down somewhat in the afternoon hours by tomorrow. And again, starting tomorrow, that'll be that 24-hour cycle. More humid, clouds in the morning, sunshine, a little bit less humid in the afternoon. As far as rain, we've got maybe a couple of showers trying to show up there to the north. Obviously, there's a lot popping up out there in the Gulf of Mexico and the onshore flow, and a few more south and west of Corpus Christi. And still that one lone little spot, or a couple little cells, continue just their trek up to the northwest, and not really doing too awfully much. There will be a few of them around this morning. This is that rapid update computer model, which has usually been of late doing a pretty good job handling some of these showers, and there'll be a few more trying to develop this afternoon, even a couple of thunderstorms thrown in. But of course, it's not everybody's seeing rain. About a 40% chance of seeing some showers or even a couple of thunderstorms. They'll die down tonight. Looks like we may see another round in the first portion of the day tomorrow. A little bit more energy kind of coming on in here, and then those will be kind of dwindling by the afternoon tomorrow. So temperatures today making it up in the upper 80s, 90 here in town, mid 90s over there in the Rio Grande Valley, and then add to that with the humidity, because we will have some of that the little bit of a heat index to deal with, unlike the past couple of days when we haven't been dealing with that much of a heat index. High pressure is really kind of sitting in place, and there's not overall much that's going to be changing to this picture. We will have, it'll kind of scooch out of the way a little bit and allow some disturbances coming on in here, but the problem with this week is the fact that thing's not really moving. Now, it's not as pushing down as hard as it could be, and so temperatures will be somewhat held in check. And like I said, there's no good storm systems moving in here, just the fact that we'll have those little disturbances, if you will. So rain chances, they're there. They're not fantastic, unfortunately. So we're going to be up to 85 degrees today at noon. A couple of showers will be popping up here and there, maybe a thunderstorm or two. Same thing later on this afternoon. 90 high temperature, which is a couple of degrees actually below normal, but of course add to it somewhat with the humidity. Tomorrow, some showers and thunderstorms in the first part of the day, mainly in the morning, and then some sunshine in the afternoon. Mid-90s Wednesday, Thursday, humid in the morning, slightly less in the afternoon. And again, the next rain chance Friday, Saturday, which not great rain chances. Of course, summer officially begins Saturday afternoon.
The yard was green. Yeah. It's now leaning the other way.
Oh, quickly.
I mean, I cut my grass last weekend, and I was looking at it yesterday and thinking, yeah, it's kind of getting there, but not what it was. No, we could use definitely use some rain.
Well, hopefully we get that chance.
Hopefully. Thank you, Mike. 650, 73 degrees.
And if you are in a financial pinch, you may consider using money you set aside for retirement. Join us tomorrow on GMSA, where we go over things to avoid if you need money fast.
Outside with Live Cam, the news you need to know before you go is coming up.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, the latest on the protests across the nation and the anger in Atlanta after that fatal shooting of a black man, Rayshard Brooks, shot in the back after a struggle in a parking lot. The incident was all caught on camera. One officer has been fired, the other on administrative leave. We hear from the victim's wife this morning. You'll see it right here on GMA.
What police say began as a relation between a man and a woman in a vehicle in the back alley here on Michigan Avenue ends with a man shot and killed. Take a look. This is the scene this morning. Investigators combing through evidence. We see about 10 evidence markers right there in the middle of the street. Just heard from a neighbor who says that she heard about 5 gunshots early this morning. And here's what we know as of now. Officers tell me on the scene, around 3 a.m., a man and woman were having relations in that back alley in a vehicle when a suspect, a man with a gun, walked up, asked the man's name. When he responded, that suspect took out a gun, pulled the trigger, just firing one shot, but it killed the man. That victim, we now know, a man in his 20s. The woman who was also in the vehicle, she was able to start running away. Police tell me that the suspect did not let her go peacefully. He started firing his weapon at her. She pretended to be shot, throwing herself on the ground. That's when the suspect took off. Now, police do tell me that they believe this is drug related, but as you can see behind me, they are still going through trying to figure out what exactly happened here, why it happened, and who was responsible. Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
Less than 5 minutes till 7.
So let's take one last look at traffic with Marcus Trujillo.
And as we take a look, map void of any incidents on the highways. The trans guide not looking too bad there. There's the sun breaking through, so make sure you take your sunglasses with you. Cut down on the glare. 35 at San Marcos. No problems here in the downtown area. Mike?
Thank you, sir. And in this picture, you can see in the foreground there, a little bit of sunshine off some of the buildings. 72 degrees in town, low 60s in the hill country. We're just about at normal. There's those couple of showers that are trying to move in here along the coastal plain, so there will be 1 or 2 of them this morning as well as this afternoon. A couple of scattered showers and thunderstorms. 90 for a high temperature today. Bit more humidity. You notice it when you step outside.
Good news, guys. We're done with Monday morning.
Yes, we made it.
We can move on.
We can move on to the rest of the week. Thanks for joining us.
See you back here for GMSA at 9. GMA is next.